Right, in this video I've had problem and issues with noisy running fan belt, drive belt, turpentine belt, whatever name you want to call it, and I thought it was the alternator. See my previous video, but after taking it all apart and nearly taking the alternator off, I checked the clutch on the alternator. The clutch is good, and also the bearings are good, they feel good. And the in my previous video, when the alternator was running with a belt as normal, the alternator, there's the alternator, the alternator clutch system was kind of jerking like that, and that was, I thought that could have been an error in the bearings, but nope, it wasn't. It was the clutch kicking. I didn't know this alternator, the clutch in it. You can tell by, there's a cap, plastic cap in front of the wheel. See a black plastic cap. Okay, so rough running, just about hear it, and just angle it. That one is just about audible, but the one down there, the one on the tensioner pulley, is very loud and it's rattly as well. So that's the cause of my loud running engine. Now, right now, I'm just going to show you what it sounds like with a belt running. I suspect listening to it sounds very rough, quite noisy. And now compare it to cranky down there. That's the crank. Up here it sounds really good. Now, if you wanted to know how to remove the drive belt only, then in my previous video entitled "How to Remove the Alternator Off Such a Car," shows you how I actually got to the drive belt, what tools you need. For this video, I will be putting the drive belt back on, so in a way you see me kind of dismantling it, but in the reverse way. These are 14s, so I've already penetrate oiled, if it's such a word. I've just got a straight hex. I don't know what the tension will be on this. I'll try and duplicate the tension, that's kind of quite stiff. In that case, what I'll do is I will shorten this a lot and then get a half an inch. So I just short breaker bar it with a 3/8. Oh, gotta be careful here. Okay, and I'll have to duplicate the tightness when I go to tighten it up. Tight, basically. Now, my very long special tools should be long enough and give me enough leverage. Let's hope this fits. The Trident 33cm spanner. It might just fit. If not, it's going to be a problem. Just fits. See, it just fits down there. It's definitely no socket. Ring spanner did not work, it's too large. So let's try one of these. These are spanners for fuel pipes, nice and thick. Of course, if this came out, it wouldn't be a problem. So, let's have a look at a little diagram. A little diagram says there's a bolt, a cap on the number 8, a cap, there's the pulley, then like a number 7. I'm not sure what number 7, so I need to keep all parts. So I can expect number 7 to fall out, number 8 fall out. Well, I've tightened these two back up. Let's get this in here. Ooh, this does not fit either. Fuel pipe in the way. Let's get my 14 on this long one. I don't want to damage this spanner. Really, it does fit. That's the thing. See how tight it is. And whenever you get situations like this, it's better to have more leverage than not. If you struggle with less leverage but use more strength, that can still be a problem, right? So, no, this is 14. That will not fit, so I need a shallow 14. Well, in the end, back to the old special tool, Trident, and the extension bar, and there's a lot of force. It must be like, this must be around about 180 Newton meters, somewhere in that ballpark. So that bolt I'm going to reuse, but after that, should have got a new bolt as well for this. Let me get a little tray. I always do things as logical as possible. I'll put this one back here and I'll put a little tray underneath. Alright, so little tray. Just about fits. I hope. Nice. I should have bought a spare, a new bolt. I'm just about ruin this one. Just from the sheer force. Stop talking. Being compressed. Nothing on there fell out. Right. There it is. There's that piece. There's that piece. There's the other piece. Simple as that. And that bolt looks reusable. Hello.
Okay.
Slight roughness. Oh, I'm spinning out of the camera. Slight roughness. I'm listening now with my ear. It's just slightly rough. The part one number for the new one is this, and I've matched them. And it went this way, if I remember right. Not this way, so it went that way. Alright, and so 56980 hyphen RSR hyphen Echo 01. These diagrams I'm getting from Honda dealership. Just asking for it when you're buying parts. And they're happy to download it for you. Or not download it, but print it off. Like the other pulley, it's got another little cap on it. Number 9 is what can fall out. I've got the new bolt for number 12 new bolt, because that's under a lot of tension. So it should be just a pulley, and number 9 might fall out. So I wonder if I can do that same trick. can see. And done the same-ish sort of trick. Magnet is holding on to the water pump pulley. And I thought I need the same tool. I need to remove this to get this out of the way now. Think before you just put it out, move out. Okay. Now if you wanted to remove the tensioner, these are 12, size 12, and there's one here and one here. I can easily get that. You just need a long deep socket for that one, and it should just fall out. Right. Here's my Trident again. This bolt I have got a new one. I think it'll be shot because I put a lot of force on it, putting it this way, untensioning the belt. So that bolt I consider spent. That inserts nicely. Going the opposite way. Really tight. Bit more leverage on it. Really tight, that one. Okay, so that bolt was untight, and I have to do kind of the equivalent. So God blessed me on this particular activity. I'm very grateful, because that could have gone wrong. Could have rounded off. Recommended you get new bolts. I would recommend getting top and bottom new bolt, because they're under a lot of pressure. The top one obviously is much easier to get off. Therefore, it's not as I can just, if the bolt got worn, I can just go buy one, stick it straight on. It's above the tree line, so to say. Tried to spin it with my fingers. I can do. So you notice how tight that was. What, 180 maybe? A lot of tension. Let's get there. Let's get a nice spanner. Yeah, the hard work's done. Oh, come on. Got normal 14 open. I was thinking a couple of things. I was thinking maybe best to take off this tensioner, because if I pull and tighten it, I'm pulling against the spring. I could damage the tensioner that way when I go to tighten it. This was not on very tight at all. I couldn't really locate well where the other bolt is, but there seems to be a dip in here. I've got a few more threads I can take off, but one option is to take off the engine mount, support the engine, take off the engine mount. So with the help of the magnetic tool, I removed it without removing the engine mount, and that bolt is definitely need replacing. Idiot proof from the other bolt. The other bolt is much thinner in diameter. So it fitted on like that, almost like a skateboard kind of wheel. That's really rough. Alright, I'm just going to locate the second bolt. It is raining heavily. Let's locate the second bolt just to Right, okay. We've got this idler pulley and the tensioner pulley. So idler pulley looks like this. That's the one on top, and kind of sounds smooth. A tiny bit of rattle. You hear tiny rattling in there, it's a tiny bit. So my objective is to measure it. So I can't remember which end goes where. Have a look at yours before you take it off. I think it went like that. And this is the right hand side of the engine. There's seven little ribs in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I mean by that is the bit that is indented inwards. So your belt would have 7 little ribs sticking out, and it fit into these 7 hole grooves. Yeah. So these are rough measurements, right? So the rough measurements should give you what you need. So the big diameter is roughly 70, it's roughly 75. $75mm. I'm just going to check that the reading on that. Yep, 75. The kind of depth of it, I guess, depth is roughly, and look, this bit is different from this bit, remember that. Depth of it is nice and simple, 30. $30mm. You can see that as I'm writing it down. Its inner diameter is roughly, looks like 17 to me. Yeah, it looks like 17. I hope you can read my writing and it's big enough. Right, so that's that one. Another look. It's when you need to buy. If you can buy, I bought the new one for Honda. That was expensive, but if you can get one online. And the other one looks like a skateboard wheel, doesn't it? It's all metal. Fully metal. This one is the one that's really rattling. And that's awful. Shouldn't make any noise. I'm pretty sure it went that way. Right hand side of the engine, you bolt it on like that. Inner diameter roughly, I've got that 17 again. And depth, $33. It's a bit thicker. And width, probably about the same. Just fits. 70. So this one should be wider. Yes, it is. Alright, so there we go. Just going to keep them. I was going to throw them away, but I'll keep them. They might come in handy in the future. It might just fit on something, and I might use it to squash on something else. Right, okay. And this one. So I'm going to figure out, oh, I must push this in this way. Same trick again. This time, on this one, on the tensioner pulley, I am going to tell you how many tons it takes for it to crack. I'm on 2 tons. Right, so it cracked at 2.5 tons. And the thing nearly completely fell out. So let's have a look. Don't know about that one. I wonder if I can go any more. Because that is not good enough. Like it could get stuck. I just thought to myself, I better put something flat against this, because that socket might cut into this press. It's not easy to press out. I told you that one. I'm on 2.5 tons. I've got a 20-ton press here. I'm on 3. Let's switch this lowest limit. Does not want to come out. This one was much harder to press out. Right, this one is not. I don't think you can press this one out, because after they installed the old one, I think they kind of put a lip around it. So I don't think this is. You can press this one out. But for the idler pulley, yes, you can press out. Alright? Alright, at least we know that. So it's another 12, and there it is. So I can tighten it, loosen it with an extension. And I noticed that the other bolt was not very tight, the top one. For some strange reason that was kind of loose. Maybe from all the rattling that's been happening. So if I wanted to undo it, I think I already just undid it anyway. That's the location of it. Probably get a normal, even a short-sided. Right, so tray back in place. New one. Not sure if it's worth greasing in this or anything like that. Probably a little bit of grease wouldn't help, wouldn't hurt. The second thought is a better not. It might get really hot and catch fire. So try and fit this in. So I won't be able to do this. Obviously, do this pulley first. Do the idler pulley first. Not the idler pulley, the tensioner pulley first. Because I forgot to mention the part number for the idler pulley is that. Oh, I keep saying that. Not idler pulley, the tensioner pulley. And just tightening up with my special tool again. No grease. So the tensioner pulley is 31180-RBD Romeo Bravo Delta Echo 01. So I'm just thinking what to do about the final 180 Newton meters I need to put on here. Can I wedge something in there? As I tighten it, as I go to tighten it, you'll see the whole arm shift, because at the end of the day it is a tensioner, and I want it only shifting so much, because we don't want, starting to tighten now, we don't want, see it? What we don't want is me to pull so hard it breaks something inside. See? Wedge something in there. Or not. Or I might damage something by wedging something in there. But let's have it. That runs smooth as a baby now. Smooth as a baby's bottom, I mean. You know what? I'm not going to fuss too much. I'm just going to... I know if I did break the tension, I know how to change it. I'm just going to wrench it to whatever equivalent I think would lock it down. I reckon as long as it's tight. Is it still giving it away? I want it to be tight enough so that it doesn't give away when the time comes for me to put the belt on. That's what we don't want. It's got to have no give in it. Make sense? And I do remember there's a part when this was over here like so, when I took the belt off, so that was all the way against there. So gotta watch my fingers. It's a new bolt, so at the moment it's nowhere near the tension that was on there, so I'm gonna look. Just giving it away, isn't it? It's just a spring against a spring. Who knows if that's enough? My guess is probably not. Just here, I can see something. Just here. See that? See that little space there? See that? I can't see anything. It's so wet. Wedge that all the way in there. This might give me the leakage. I don't think it's going to damage the pulley. There's nothing's going to move. Good thing I bought a new bolt. Ah, see now, and that sounds a lot better now. That's the sort of tightness I want. It'll probably be tight enough. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't damage anything. Alright, that's what we're looking for. Alright, let's get our top one on. Something like that. I mean, some bearing grease wouldn't hurt, to be honest. Wouldn't hurt at all. We don't want to put the wrong stuff on. So it goes in like that. Got a little tray to catch. Just a little tool handy. These are just handy just to keep my experience tells me things just have a tendency of falling out You at least want them to. The back one's not going to fall out so easily, but the front one, just check if it's magnetisable. Yeah, it is. Probably best to do this, I think. That's on. It's coming to the end of towards our end of our video. Only thing left is get the belt on. Once the belt's on, run the engine, see what it sounds like. This was not on half as tight. This is a very, very good tool. If you've got this model of car, you need it. I used it for the air conditioning system. And it's coming essential for this job. Remember, I had to use the extender bar to tighten. I might just do this only to this tightness. Maybe just a little bit more. I want to round that bolt off. Okay, that's it. The extension bar on. That's how far left. Yeah, they just managed to give a little extra tweak, and that's probably how much force was on there before. What's going on? Let's keep little things like this handy. Right, that's that. That comes out. Right, okay. Let's get the belt back on. Quick look at the diagram again. Alright, there's our top pulley, there's the pulley we just worked on, the tensioner pulley. Now, on your belt, you should have, before you're taking it off, mark the direction of travel. So starting from the top, I am going to try. I'm no expert on this, but I should try. Starting from the top, I'm going to thread it down. Obviously, I'm not going to hook this onto that pulley because that's going to take up too much slack. So what I'm just going to do is pass it from the top down to the bottom using gravity, and I'm going to do the bottom pulleys first. Right, so these are modeled with air conditioning. That's the aircon pump, that's the crank, that's the water pump, that's the alternator at the top, that's the alternator, that's the top pulley we just changed, that's the tensioner. So I have made sure that it goes all the way across on the alternator. All the bottom bits in, and the other bit that I didn't do, so this is the reverse of taking it off, is I've left the alternator one off. So everything, double checking, should be right. Alright, getting ready to. Okay, so I remember when I took it off, this was all the way pushed over all the way there, and I can't seem to get a hook on down there that far on the regions. So this is the best I can do. Now, Now it's set up, I need a bit more room, so I'm going to move the camera out of the way. Really don't need this bar here as well. So make sure that that's on, everything's on. I'm just going to pull it back and slip it onto the alternator. Make sure do not trap fingers. How did that come off there? It's not right. I'm looking. Kind of on, not lined up. It's on the rib properly. In the natural position. Now, we'll check that in a minute. What is also very important is there should be a marker, there should be a little cutout right there. That little line on, see where I'm pointing here? There's a little line just to the south of that bolt. That line should be between the short line and the big cutout. The short pop out bit and the big cutout here on this silver bit. And it is between. The only thing to do is to run it, but I haven't got the battery in. I shall run it in a minute. I'm going to put everything back, because I did this to take the alternator off, which I didn't need to do. And no, let's run it, let's put the battery in. Right, so battery's back in temporarily. I'm going to do another job. Let's run it, see how it sounds. Last minute check, make sure the rib area is in. It will be very nasty if it's shredded off. Very nasty. The clutch kicking in on the alternator. I'm going to try the air conditioning. Is not kicking on very well, but sounds alright. Please hit that like, subscribe button. So that's how I change my pulleys anyway, and that goes hand in hand with changing the belt as well. If you want to change the belt, they were worn. Alright, thanks for watching.